There are a few moments of tranquility in life that compare to the serenity of being out on the open water in a canoe or kayak. However, as with any water sport, it is vitally important to follow certain rules and guidelines to help ensure your safety.
Hi, my name is Angelo, and today we're going to briefly outline the rules, laws, and skills you'll need to know before you paddle out into the open water so you can have an enjoyable and safe experience. You should make preparations before starting your trip. Be prepared for emergencies and let someone know where you're going. Be sure to also include a recent photo of your vessel, as well as what you are wearing. This is called the float plan. An average paddler without wind and current will paddle 3 miles each hour. If you have a map or a chart for your trip, you can use this knowledge to plan accordingly. Give yourself more time to return on your trip than you went out, as you will be tired. Do not attempt any trip that will be too long for your physical condition. Now keep in mind that weather conditions can change quickly on the water. Plan and dress appropriately. If possible, plan for unexpected immersion and consider carrying extra clothes in a plastic bag. Pack appropriate gear such as drinking water, sunscreen, snacks, and a safety whistle for your trip. Oh, and don't forget your shoes. If you are planning to paddle on navigable waters, you're required to have a sound-producing device. Now, it's highly encouraged to wear water shoes while paddling. The terrain of the land and the potential hazards under the water can be hazardous if you need to portage your vessel. Consider taking some means of communication. A portable VHF FM radio or a cell phone may be appropriate depending on your location or intended route. Paddling in cold water requires more preparation and greater respect of the elements. Please be aware that the air temperature does not dictate the water temperature. Always dress for the temperature of the water, not the air. The goal is to stay warm and safe. A dry suit is an excellent choice when kayaking or canoeing. Be sure to dress in layers to keep you warm. We recommend packing some extra layers too. And remember, always wear a PFD. A life jacket can truly be the difference between life and death if you find yourself immersed in the water. If you are new to paddling, by nature of the activity, there is a good chance that you may spend time in the water. Unfortunately, 80% of all canoe fatalities and over 50% of all kayak fatalities are due to the operator not wearing a life jacket. Experienced paddlers know this and are 4 times more likely to wear their life jackets, and you should too. Now, all life jackets must be U.S. Coast Guard approved, be of the proper size for the intended wearer, appropriate for your activity, and in good condition. Now keep in mind, if the life jacket is not snug, it is not the right fit. Wearable PFDs are marked as Type 1, 2, 3, 5, and level 70 and level 100. Some wearable PFDs are specifically designed for paddling activities. Inflatable life jackets should not be worn by poor or non-swimmers. Now remember, for children under the age of 13, the use of a life jacket is required by law. Your rental boat livery will advise you of any local and state requirements regarding child life jacket wear while paddling. It is recommended that you always wear your life jacket while boating or doing paddling sports. When it comes time to actually board your boat, follow these safety guidelines. Have someone steady the vessel as you get in. Many unnecessary accidents happen while actually boarding a canoe or kayak. Stay low, keep your shoulders inside the gunnels, and keep your knees bent. Hold the sides of the vessel for balance as you walk to your seat. Always maintain 3 points of contact with the boat. Walk in the center of the boat and avoid sudden movements in order to keep it from rocking back and forth. Always sit on the seats or position centrally in the vessel. Sitting on the sides of the canoe may cause the vessel to capsize. Keep your head, shoulders, and hips vertical and upright. If any of these get out of alignment, then capsizing may occur. Once out in the open water, there are rules of the road that you are required to know when it comes to paddling. While you are sure to find times of solitude, you will also likely be sharing your waterway with other boaters. Always keep a lookout for other boating traffic and potential hazards that may exist. It is a good idea to stay relatively close to the shoreline. Paddling across an open expanse can be extremely dangerous to you and the vessel due to traffic and weather conditions. Paddling vessels are not nearly as large, fast, or stable as powerboats and can easily capsize when hit broadside by the weight created by other vessels or the wind. If a wave is headed in your direction, quickly turn your bow into the wave so you do not take the wave broadside. Never assume another vessel can see you, and always wear brightly colored clothes or life jackets. Never think you're fast enough to pass in front of a moving power vessel. The fastest way to cross the path of a powerboat is to do so astern or behind the vessel. If your paddling group finds itself in front of a powerboat, be courteous and mindful of the stopping distance of some of these other vessels. If paddling at dusk or at night, you should have a white light or a flashlight so you are easily identifiable to other boaters. If other vessels are in your vicinity, the light must be displayed in time to prevent a collision. If you do not have a light on your canoe or kayak, do not paddle after dark. You should always have some means of making the appropriate sound signals, such as a whistle or air horn. Ask your rental livery for any specific navigation markers that you should be aware of on your journey. Pay close attention since these navigation aids all have significance. They direct vessel traffic and indicate channels. There are also orange and white information buoys that may indicate swimming areas or other dangers like rocks. You need to be aware of any restrictions on your local lakes and rivers or in your path of travel, including but not limited to restricted bridges, abutments, dams, power plants, and the restriction of all crafts within 100 yards of all U.S. Navy vessels. Again, you should double check with your rental livery about any of these restrictions you may encounter on your paddling excursion. While paddling, always be aware of hazards and strainers. Strainers are fallen trees, bridge or dock pilings, undercut rocks, or anything else that allows current to flow through but can hold you and trap you or your boat. Strainers can be deadly. Be overly cautious on the water. If you are unsure of a potential hazard, give yourself plenty of space to go around it. On many waters, you may find low head dams. These can be dangerous and are usually marked with orange or white warning buoys. Stay away from floodwaters as they can be strong and dangerous, capable of pinning your boat or even snapping it in half against a rock or other obstacle. When on coastal waters, make sure you understand tidal movements and how they affect your boat. Stay relatively close to shore, and as you paddle further from places of safety, make sure you have the necessary strength and skills to paddle back. Do not stand up in a kayak and avoid weight shifts that may cause capsizing. Capsizing is the most common cause of paddling accidents. As a paddler, it is critical to understand that the cold water is a hazard and must be respected. Remember that warm weather can often create a false sense of security in paddlers. Always dress for the temperature of the water, not the air. Cold water shock occurs when falling into cold water without proper protection. Wearing the proper cold water gear can be the difference between life and death should you find yourself in cold water. One of the most important things you can do in preparing for your paddling adventure, in addition to wearing a life jacket and the proper gear, is to ensure you know how to quickly reboard your paddle craft. If your canoe or kayak tips over, don't panic. stay with your boat and paddle or swim it to shore if you're close to the shore. When swimming to shore, keep your body flat on the surface with your feet up at the surface. Do not try to stand up in a river situation due to potential hazards. Backstroke or swim aggressively to shore. Stay upstream of your boat and be careful you don't get crushed between your boat and any obstacle in the water. Your vessel may continue to float even with water in it. Once safely on shore, carefully flip the vessel over to dump out the water. Assess the situation and decide whether to relax a while or continue. Change clothes if necessary. If another boat capsizes, first worry about the safety of the other passengers. Then go after the paddler's boat and equipment, and do so only if this can be done safely. Practice capsizing and reboarding techniques with assistance in shallow water. Always conduct yourself with courteous behavior. Respect the rights of other paddlers, motorized vessels, landowners, and anglers. Stay as far away from them as is safe and practical. Be cautious when crossing busy waterways and stay near the shore and shallower areas. Use your VHF radio to monitor channel 16 while underway. Avoid large vessels and navigable channels. If you do need to cross a channel, do so at a right angle to the waterway in order to reduce your time in the crossing. Obey all rules and regulations and use only public access points. Don't engage in inappropriate behavior. Never litter, do not disturb wildlife, and minimize environmental impact when launching, stopping for lunch, camping, or using nature's restroom. Don't drink and boat. Like any other activity, paddling and alcohol do not mix. Never go paddling while under the influence of alcohol or drugs. The operation of any vessel while intoxicated is dangerous and against local, state, and federal laws. Good judgment is critical while on the water. Be aware that the effects of alcohol consumption can be intensified due to a number of contributing factors such as heat and movement. Don't take any chances. By following these simple steps, you can make sure your paddling experience is fun and safe. If you understand the potential hazards that exist all around you and act responsibly to avoid them, you will have a safe boating experience to enjoy and remember. Again, never drink and boat, and always wear your life jacket. The more time you spend on the water, the more experienced you'll become. But no matter how many hours you have on the water, always use common sense. Stay alert and make note of your surroundings every time you take a stroke of your paddle. Your safety is our primary concern, but ultimately, safety on the water depends on you.